Good afternoon, Facebook friends and YouTube followers and Twitter followers and Daily Motion followers. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for Friday, January 16th, 2015, around 3:02 p.m. in Belleville, Massachusetts. We've been battling some snow showers and snow squalls, and it's sunny out a little bit. So it's a sun, snow, shower, squall, so be careful out there. Some news to report. The New York Rangers are on the verge of signing defenseman Mark Stahl to a 6-year contract extension, which will pay him an average of $5.75 million per year. The Detroit Tigers avoided salary arbitration with pitcher David Price for a 1-year contract to close to $20 million. And 2014 was the warmest year on record in the earth. This might be global warming. And also, one more thing, the Chicago Bears are on the verge of signing John Fox to become their next head coach. And that's about it on the news. My next subject is my review of the best Royal Rumble to date. The 1992 WWE Royal Rumble from the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany, New York. And this Royal Rumble was for the WWE title, 30 men in a Royal Rumble, and this was one of the best performances by Nature Boy Ric Flair of all time. He went through 29 other superstars to become the WWE champion. And the calling the pay-per-view were Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan. And before the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, there was a dark match. Conan Chris Walker beat the Brooklyn Brawler by disqualification in a dark match. That match was just to get things going for the crowd, to warm them up for the pay-per-view. And these are the matches that happened at the 1992 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. The first match was a tag team match between the New Hart Foundation, which was Owen the Rocket Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, against the Orient Express, Pat Tanaka and Kato with Mr. Fuji. The New Hart Foundation was started in WWE in November of 1991 with Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Owen Hart. They wore baggy clown pants, which was ridiculous, but that wasn't the style back then, probably because of MC Hammer being the biggest rapper, so everybody was wearing the big baggy pants that looked like clowns wore. But this match between the New Hart Foundation and the Orient Express was awesome. Almost 18 minutes of non-stop action, and it was a great tag team match. It's an underrated tag team match of all time. It's not as good as the one that opened up 1991 Royal Rumble between the Rockers and the Orient Express, but it was good. The New Foundation won in about 18 minutes. Owen pinned, I think, Tanaka for 1, 2, 3. And this was good. I thought the New Hart Foundation was going to get a push to the WWE Tag Team titles, but they fired Jim the Anvil Neidhart a short time later, and Owen Hart went on a little singles run, but then he got teamed with Coco Beware and High Energy. That's another subject for another day. The second match was for the WWE Intercontinental Champion, and it was the title match between the Mountie with Jimmy, the Mouth of South Hart, in his corner. The Mountie won the WWE Intercontinental Championship 2 days earlier at a house show in Springfield, Massachusetts, when he beat Bret the Hitman Hart. Supposedly, Bret the Hitman Hart wrestled with a fever of 104. That's what the storyline says, but it was just to get the belt off Bret so they could give it to Piper. There was rumors that Bret the Hitman Hart was going to jump to WCW. He signed a verbal agreement. No, he sent a verbal agreement to WCW, and he was supposed to debut with them at the Clash of Champions in January 1992, but there was no paperwork signed, and to find out, the WCW never offered Bret Hitman Hart a contract. So this was just to get the belt off him, and Piper to beat the Mountie. And the fans were going nuts when Piper came into the ring. This was about 5-6 minutes. Wasn't the best Piper match, but, he put the sleeper on the Mountie, and he submitted, this Mountie submitted, and Rowdy Piper was the new WWE Intercontinental Champion. This was the first championship that Piper won in the WWE. It was so over, he didn't need a belt, and that was good. And he also was in the Royal Rumble later on that night, so he had a chance for 2 titles. The next match was a tag team match between the Beverly Brothers, Bo and Blake, with the genius Lanny Poffo in their corner. Bo and Blake are not really brothers. They're Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom, who used to be the Destruction Crew in the AWA, and also the new Minnesota Wrecking Crew under Mask in WCW around 1990, who was managed by Ole Anderson. They came to the WWE in the summer of 1991. They were kind of the jobber heel tag team for the WWE, and they wrestled against the Bushwhackers. Look at Bush. Whoa! Yeah! With Jameson in their corner. Jameson was actually a stand-up comedian who appeared on WWE TV for like a couple of years as like a dorky-looking guy. He first appeared on the Bobby Heenan show, the last half hour of primetime wrestling, for a while, and then he was sit in the crowd for like the updated primetime wrestling, and then he was wandering around the crowd, and the Beverly Brothers were harassing Jameson, and the Genius was harassing him as well, but the Bushwhackers came to his rescue, so this match was to set up this thing. It was a back and forth match. It was a great match for the Bushwhackers and Beverly Brothers. The Bushwhackers were known for comedy tag teaming, but if they could get serious, they could have a decent match. This match was pretty good, about 13 minutes. The Beverly Brothers won, but at the end, the Bushwhackers attacked the Beverly Brothers, gave them a battering ram, and then Jameson got his revenge on the genius yet Lanny Poffo by giving the weakest looking kick I've ever seen, and it was so funny. He gave a weak-looking kick, and the crowd cheered big time. It was so friggin' hilarious. So anyway, the next match was for the WWE Tag Team Championship. It was the Natural Disasters, Earthquake and Typhoon, with Jimmy the Mouth of the South Hot in the corner, against the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, the Legion of Doom, for the WWE Tag Team Championships. This match was about 10 minutes. It was a decent match. The Natural Disasters won the match by countout, but you cannot win a title in the WWE if you're counted out or disqualified or goes to a time limit trial. The only way you win a title in the WWE or any professional wrestling organization is pinfall or submission. And the Natural Disasters won, but they didn't win the titles. This was a good match, and this was probably to set up something for WrestleMania 8 between the Natural Disasters and the Legion of Doom, but the LOD, or Natural Disasters, did not have that planned match at WrestleMania 8 because Money Incorporated beat Road Warriors at a house show in Denver, Colorado the next month. And that was about it for the undercard. Then the main event was capping the 1992 WWE Royal Rumble for the vacant WWE Championship. This started at like Survivor Series 1991 when The Undertaker beat Hulk Hogan for the WWE title with interference by Ric Flair. Ric Flair had a chair, and The Undertaker gave a tombstone to Hogan on the chair, 1, 2, 3, but then Jack Tunney ordered a rematch between Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker at this Tuesday in Texas, 6 days later at a pay-per-view, and Jack Tunney was going to be at ringside, and it was so much interference. Ric Flair came back down, but Hogan hit a chair with the Flair, and Jack Tunney went down. It was probably one of the only bumps he took, and The Undertaker attacked Hogan, but Hogan attacked Paul Bearer, grabbed the urn, spread ashes on The Undertaker's face and schoolboyed him up, 1, 2, 3. And then Jack Tunney, the next weekend on WWE programming, stripped Hogan of the title and put the title up for grabs in the Royal Rumble. And this was the first Royal Rumble of importance, in my opinion, because before it was just they had random people winning it. The first three of them, they were pointless who won it. Like in 1991 was the first thing that had meaning with Hulk Hogan winning it because it was setting up for WrestleMania 7. And this Royal Rumble was stacked. It had the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, Ted DiBiase, Ric Flair, the model Rick Martel, El Matador, Big Boss Man, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Barbellion, Warlord, Virgil, Sid Vicious, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Rowdy Piper, The Undertaker, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Jake the Snake Roberts, and others. And Hogan and The Undertaker got to get a later draw between the number 20 and 30. And the match started with the British Bulldog and Ted DiBiase coming in, and then Bulldog eliminates Ted DiBiase, and then Ric Flair comes in at number 3, and Gorilla Monsoon says, "Oh, there goes your chance." And he says that nobody had to do number 5 was in the final 4 of any Royal Rumble, and was a tough thing for Ric Flair. But Ric Flair went through them all, 29 wrestlers. He set a longevity record for being in the Royal Rumble for well over an hour. And everybody was attacking him. Even the faces and the heels were attacking Flair. They wanted a piece of him. The commentary for Bobby the Brain Heenan on this was superb. That was one of the best commentary jobs of all time for wrestling. And the finish of this match was when it was Sid Justice, Hulk Hogan, and Ric Flair. And like Hogan was trying to eliminate Ric Flair, but Sid Justice comes in and eliminates Hulk Hogan. And the crowd in Albany, New York was going wild. They were cheering for Sid and booing for Hulk Hogan. Amazing. And this was unbelievable. This never happened before. A face wrestler eliminating Hulk Hogan in a Royal Rumble and getting the big pop. This was never even heard of in 1992. But when the next week on Superstars and Challenge, they had to redub it, so Sid was booed tremendously, and commentary team had to redo it. But like Hogan tries to shake Sid Justice's hand, and then Flair dumps Sid Justice over the top rope, and Ric Flair's the winner. He survived number 3 to go through 28 other wrestlers. Amazing. And this was the best performance of any superstar up to that point in the Royal Rumble. And this was amazing. I never thought Flair would win the WWE title. I thought he would get thrown out early because drawing a low number. But this was the plan all along. I think Vince McMahon wanted to have Flair go over an hour and so. Because back then, WWE, if you won a WWE Championship match, on average, the match would last 10 to as much as 15 minutes, maybe over 20 minutes on special occasions, but they didn't go past 15 minutes or so. And after the match, they had Sid Justice and Hulk Hogan trying to get at it, and they had all the referees and the suits and the agents, producers, whatever. They're trying to break it up, and the fans were cheering for Sid. Sid was amazing. And then afterwards, they had the interview with Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect and Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Ric Flair delivered one of the best promos ever for WWE. And he says, with a tear in the corner of my eye, "This is the greatest moment of my life." Woo! And this was the greatest WWE Royal Rumble of all time. The match was probably one of the 10 best matches of all time in WWE history, and this is also the best Battle Royal, in my opinion, of all time. And the undercard was very, very solid. The tag team match with the New Heart Foundation and the Oriental Express was amazing. The Beverly Brothers Bushwhackers tag team match was surprisingly good, despite both teams like known for comedy routines, but it was good. And also Piper winning the Intercontinental title was a great feel-good story, even though it wasn't Piper's best match, but it was decent. And the Tag Team Championship between the Legion of Dooms and Natural Disasters was pretty good. And this was, to date, the best Royal Rumble of all time. Tomorrow, I'm going to review the 1993 Royal Rumble from Arco Arena in Sacramento, California, and that Royal Rumble matchup was horrible, in my opinion. I'll tell you that tomorrow, and I'll be back. Facebook friends, YouTube followers, Daily Motional followers, and Twitter followers. My last video blog of the night later on, which will be about the classic TV game show Child's Play, hosted by Bill Cullen, that ran on CBS for about a year, from September 1982 to September 1983. And don't forget, Facebook friends and YouTube followers, coming soon to these video blogs, Julie Broughton and Heidi Lee Pratt's video blogs. See you later.